Welcome, everybody, to the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox community. It is so good to be here, hanging out with you guys on another Friday. Summer's officially here, really. The weather's hot. Hippity hop. Hippity hop on the hotness.
Yeah, it's warming up.
It is warming up. You know what else is warming up? Rumors. Rumors that we're getting a new Xbox Series X console in 2023. Native 8K and 120 hertz.
That's big.
And it's just going to crush it. Let me ask you this, Jordan. So the reason that we have this is TCL held a conference on their presentation. They talked about the next generation of consoles. It makes sense. They're a television maker. Now, the question mark is are they just guessing or do they have inside knowledge? I would imagine they have legit knowledge because if you're a console maker, you want television companies to know, hey, here's what we're shooting for. If you could do this,
Yeah, because
that would be great.
like Xbox partners with Samsung, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff like that going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they on their thing they called it Gen 9.5, right?
9.5, yeah. So let me ask you this. Too soon? Just right? What do you think of a new top-tier Xbox Series X?
So what,
We'll call it the Series X for now because it's the top tier. It's a new top tier.
When did Series X come out?
2 years ago. This will be 3 years if it drops in 2023.
So 3-year cycle, and then we'll probably do another one. That's probably about average. I mean, didn't Phil Spencer say that they're moving to more of a phone style, like you're going to get updates,
Iterations, iterational upgrades.
Yeah, but everything will still work with previous consoles. It'll just kind of keep up more with technology, I guess, if that makes sense.
Keep up more with technology.
Yeah, so
like,
we'll always have the latest technology. Yeah, he did say that. The question is, do you think that's good, or would you rather, or is it just too soon?
Well, I don't think options are bad. It depends. I mean, it all really depends on the price point. If it's just an upgrade to 8K 120 hertz, well, I shouldn't say just. I mean, that's a pretty significant upgrade.
That's a lot of power.
Yeah, that's a lot of power under the hood. Because I mean, 4K, if you don't know, actually takes a lot of resources. It's very intensive, and then doing 4K at a high frame rate. So native 8K. So I mean, that is quite a thing. So, I mean, it all depends on the price point and what happens to the other boxes. Will this be the new $499 box, and then maybe the Series X drops down $150?
I think that's what we're looking at for sure.
So I mean, I don't ever think it's bad to upgrade or have an option for an upgraded system that can do these. What I really wish console makers would do, and this is where I'm just going to speak directly to the people here, is
they're listening.
And TV manufacturers need to get on board this too, because in my opinion, it's quite ridiculous. We haven't done this yet. Let's get display ports on the consoles.
I don't like display ports.
No, they're.
Why don't you like them, David?
They can do more and better.
Here's why.
Correct? Am I wrong in thinking that? Yeah, they can do.
Here's why I don't like display ports. Because my setup for my PC right now is an HDMI and a display port.
Mm-hmm.
And my display port one always freaking takes like 10 seconds longer to refresh.
It does.
From sleep. And that is enough that I don't like it.
Mm-hmm. But it's also 10
more
times
powerful
better than your HDMI.
Can I
actually?
Do I notice it?
I don't. Is there HDMI out right now? This is me being stupid, but is there HDMI right now that can push 8K?
Let me look.
Like
there may not
bandwidth?
be. I don't know.
And at 120 frames.
Can DisplayPort? Can display?
Yes.
Oh,
DisplayPort
really?
can do a lot.
Why is display so powerful?
Because
That's why
it came
PC
out 10 years later.
Is that what? It's like the
newer,
newest.
Yeah. HDMI's been around a lot longer, but the reason it probably is hung around so long is because of the licensing for the hardware. That's my guess. That's why USB is still a thing.
Yeah, HDMI 2.1 will support 8K HDR, but only at 60 or 4K at 120.
Now,
so it sounds like we
may
may
go for an adventure. Look up that DisplayPort.
We may go with 8K 120. You may have to go DisplayPort.
That would be beautiful. You know why?
If you're a man of hardware, David, you would enjoy DisplayPort.
Okay, why does it take so freaking long to come out of sleep?
If you had that much power, you'd need a second to get going.
Got to rev that engine, if you know what I'm saying.
Spicy, what do you think?
Crank it. You got to crank it before she starts going.
Spicy, while I look this up, what do you think? Too soon for a new iteration of the top tier Xbox? Just right? Should it be shorter? What is your analysis?
Yeah, if the hardware's ready to go big, then why not? I mean, it's not like it's going to limit you on your current box from playing all the games that are coming out and games that are out, because I mean that's one of the things they're supporting. This current generation of hardware for a very long time. So it doesn't hurt anything because you can still play. But if you care to have just that sheer power, which a lot of people do, I mean, I do, to just have that power to play those games at 8K, if you want that, that's a lot of resources, man. That's a lot of power. If you want that, and if the hardware is capable, why not?
Amen.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I think so. I think it just gives more options to us as gamers.
Well, the one thing that excites me is if they're going to release a console that does 8K 120 frames, you're obviously going to have the supporting hardware
that is
behind it.
So much power
now,
required to do that, by the way. That's ridiculously cool.
Now, or I should say supporting peripherals like your TV, cables, stuff like that. So if they're confident that TV manufacturers and monitors have been doing it for a while, but more so TV manufacturers are doing this, that makes me excited because even still right now today, it's I'm not going to say it's incredibly difficult, but it's still pretty difficult and pricey to get a full HDMI 2.1 TV that can run your 4K 120 hertz, you know. So even monitors, I mean, you can get decently priced monitors, but they're still up there.
Yeah.
So if they're already moving to this next step, it gets me excited that the 4K 120, which I think is great, will come down in price or be more readily available.
Yeah, that's exciting. For the record, DisplayPort looks like it's double. So it goes 4K 240 and 8K 120.
Superior.
Double of HDMI.
They usually call that superior.
Yeah. It's got a lot of power under the hood.
It does refresh your
it's
computer
kid-proof.
in about 1/4 of the time.
Sort of kid-proof. Like, I can trip over the cable and it takes the whole PC with it.
Oh, because it locks it
It
in.
doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't release like normal, which is
and
good.
then you like freak out, but you're like, oh, it's still there. All right.
Yeah, it's definitely. Yeah, it's David. It is superior, but mine also has some delay in the boot up process. I think that might be a power setting that you can.
Oh, can you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Other people listening or probably would know more, but
Yeah.
Or maybe your HDMI display is screwing it up.
Yeah. Let's. Well, I only have one DisplayPort on the back of my.
I think it's just user error. That's what I think.
Super Shocker dropped a super chat. He says, I kind of want to run 2 screens. That would be cool as fan. Couch co-op would be sweet. Amen. Cool as fan.
Can
I
you
love
imagine
that. Super Shocker.
because I run a couple screens
Thank
on
you,
the
Super
computer. Can you imagine if your Xbox can do that? You just have
That would be bad. That
like
would be
your,
awesome.
your pinned games over here on this
Have
screen
you
and then what you're
seen-
playing here.
Have you
And
seen
then Netflix on the third monitor.
Have you seen that setup, the Millennium Falcon game room setup that the guy has? It's like a spaceship and he goes in.
No.
It is awesome. And he's got like 3 screens running and he's doing like a space simulator. It's cool. If you just go to YouTube, I'm sure it will be there. Well, actually, it might show up there. I believe it was a YouTube short. But while Spicy's looking that up, Reactor Leak is a Tier 4 Atrioc. He's been a member for 24 months. Thank you very much, Reactor Leak. He says, personal opinion, just because it says it's coming in 23, 24 doesn't mean it for certain is. Love you all. Yes, it is. It is technically a rumor. I mean, it was presented by TCL, but nobody has confirmed it. Xbox nor PlayStation has confirmed it.
See, and that's what's interesting because, like you just looked up, HDMI 2.1 is the best we got HDMI wise, and it can't do 8K 120. So, do they know something we don't? Is there HDMI 2.2 coming out? Or, like you said, are we just switching over?
Well,
to
no.
DisplayPort?
If maybe you're switching over. I don't know because you would have to have that.
Or is it?
I'm
just-
trying to think. Does my television have a DisplayPort on it?
No, very rarely does. I don't.
I have a badass television though. I've just not
maybe
looked.
maybe you should look, but
It doesn't matter because my
very rarely do. Have you seen
my
a
Xbox
television with
doesn't have a
a
DisplayPort, so it doesn't
DisplayPort on it?
I haven't because I'm poor.
Oh yeah, so very rarely has as a television.
I mean, if you want like reasonably priced TVs, generally the manufacturer gets cheaper stuff, and hardware that's been out for a while is cheaper with the licensing stuff. So generally they'll have HDMI ports.
But
Yes.
here's the question: do you think we'll make a jump to that better technology? Like DisplayPort is superior.
I think what we'll do is if this is true and it's coming out next year around Christmas, let's say it's 23 because 23/4. Let's say it's 2023 new Xbox that can do native 8K 120. that means that 4K 120 is the new norm. That will be the standard on all TVs going forward. So I think it will push boundaries. Just like right now, very few people are playing their Series X on 4K 120. When the 8K, it'll be like the standard is now 4K 120. It's not as normal to get the full aspects out of that, but it will crush. I'm sure it will just crush 4K 120.
Well, I would be. I mean, I know I'm probably in the minority with this. I mean, I like DisplayPort because it's better.
Yeah.
But I wonder if for these, because let's say, I mean, Xbox Series S is your everyday console. You know what I mean? It's the more casual console.
Yeah.
On these superior consoles like the Series X or this new one, why don't they put a little bit of those extra features in it? Like have an HDMI port and a display port.
Amen,
So,
you know what I mean? I wonder.
So do you know why?
TVs don't have display ports?
No, because they don't care about you.
Oh, well, that
No, I'm actually being serious.
that sounds about right.
Yeah, TVs cater to the TV market, like home entertainment,
Yeah.
movies, stuff like that. DisplayPort, that's a very gamer-centric thing. Like that's because we care about refresh rates, we care about the bandwidth.
Yeah, because on a movie, you're 24 frames for most movies.
Yeah,
So it's not like you're needing a bunch of
there
power.
are TVs that have DisplayPort.
Yeah, thousands of dollars.
They're probably really expensive, but those TVs market themselves towards gamers. Like it's not like a
Re-say that. They market themselves towards wealthy gamers.
But yeah, that's just because they don't care about you, David. I mean, Jordan.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, Fitzy, my boy, will have is 8K even a big difference? Can we even notice a huge difference from 4K? I know there's diminishing returns at some point. Are we at that point?
So the important thing about what 8K means is the actual. So I would say, this is from my perspective.
Yep.
It's not necessarily important that we actually can see 8K because you generally can't. I've seen a lot of studies where after like 24 to like 36 inches past the TV, your eye can't tell. What's important about getting 8K 120 frames per second is the amount of power required to do that. That's going to make the hardware play the games in a very, very good way, if that makes sense. So
smoother ride.
Smoother ride, better graphics, better everything, because the hardware is capable of that. Everything else is easy.
Are we PC Master Race is about to crush me for this comment. Are we getting to a point where with these kind of updates regularly, let's say it's every 3 years and it's top tier, top stuff, that consoles will be the best deal for gaming?
Consoles have always been the best deal for
Consoles have
gaming.
always been the best
there's
deal
never,
for gaming.
I don't think you can argue.
But
that
I mean, the superior place to play. Let me say that then.
Well, I don't think that's ever going to be the case because of the customizability of building your own PC with the hardware you can build. If you have an unlimited budget, PC is always going to be the greatest place to play games. No question.
Emphasis on unlimited budget because graphics cards are ridiculous.
Especially right now, yeah. But I mean, like even graphics cards, when they come out with the 10 series, 20 series, the 30 series with an NVIDIA, every time they come out with it, which is every couple of years, they double the power. Well, probably a third to 2/3 more powerful and cheaper generally than the last iteration, and that's every couple of years too.
Yeah.
So I think what we're seeing with this rumor that we're getting is the fact that consoles are now catching up to that kind of jumps and bounds that the hardware is showing. And like I said, with an unlimited budget, the PC just dominates when it comes to power.
But for regular people,
for us peons,
bank for buck, I don't think there's really an argument that the consoles are best bang for your buck, because I mean we see it every time a new console comes out. They always go, what if we put the same exact parts in a PC if we can make it cheaper? And generally they can't, because it's just that's what you get when you deal with Microsoft and Sony and they got all their chip deals and stuff, right? But bank for buck, the console's the way to go if you want just pure power.
Yeah.
Well, and that was what was so great about having the Series X come out, because it was remember we were seeing all the information on the teraflops and all that stuff. It was it was
bullet point words.
That was my nickname in high school, Teraflop.
teraflops, because you wore a lot of sandals to school.
Because they saw me in the shower.
No, it was really interesting because the Series X, if I remember right, was one of the few times where the console, you take the top tier graphics card that was out on the market right there, and the console was there. It was at that bar, right? And that doesn't happen very often. I don't know if it's ever happened. So it was
well, you're talking top tier graphics cards, not
card,
like the
benchmarks.
The middle,
that's some pretty powerful hardware going into a $500 piece of hardware. So that's why it was so cool, and that's why the Series S is an amazing thing because of how much power you get out of something that only costs $299. I think so, US dollars. So it's really, for me, as someone who's grown up with consoles, grown up playing PCs, it's really fun to see the console actually start to go up against, as far as power, the PC side of things.
Yeah, Dark Knight in chat says, loving the tech talk. He's a wingman for 24 months. Thank you very much, Dark Knight. And Brian F says, correct me if I'm wrong, but if bandwidth improves and they figure out the cloud stuff, all this is muted. Correct? If you can offload to cloud gaming.
So I think, this is my personal opinion, you can never outclass a local game. Like one you're playing with your eyes, sitting down, playing with the hardware, right? Cloud gaming, even today, still has latency issues, and you're always going to have latency issues. The actual fidelity, you don't care about the latency. You don't care about that. You just want to have a good time. Then cloud gaming is definitely totally an option. But if you're if you have that, we'll call it the PC Master Race
syndrome.
Not syndrome. It's kind of fun.
PCMR.
Everybody, I'll argue in any industry, everybody has it. Everybody wants something that's the best at something.
We'll call it gamer snob.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you really enjoy four-wheeling, you probably or side-by-side riding or boating or skiing or whatever it is that you like to do, golfing, for example. Whatever it is you like to do, there is always something that's at the top of the chain when it comes to gear or anything what it is. And there's always a market for that individual who wants the best.
Oh, amen.
Yeah. And so when we're talking about,
it's called snob appeal.
Okay, we'll call it that. Whatever it is, but there is a innate desire to have that. And for me, when it comes to gaming especially. So when you compare that to cloud gaming, for example, cloud gaming's great, and you're offloading a lot of those processing for the hardware and everything off-site, and then it's doing it for you and bringing it back as a signal, just a straight-up video signal. There is still the back and forth latency between that communication. Light can only travel so fast, whereas when you have local hardware, that, in my opinion, is still considered far better than what cloud gaming will ever have because of the local power of the hardware and the latency.
I like it. What a statement. Light can only travel so fast.
It's really true. Light can only travel so fast. Yeah, so...
Bro, I've been going down a rabbit hole of time and time travel and, like, scientific theories behind it. It all has to do with light and how light bends not just space but time. It's crazy. It's crazy. Anyways, don't go down that rabbit hole. Some of it,
I love that stuff.
Super hard to understand, actually.
Well, do you know what's really hard to understand? It's like the fourth dimension. Have you gone into that rabbit hole?
No, I don't. I'm not there yet. I'm just in,
So what?
Time travel is actually a possibility.
Sure, everything.
And actually, the going theory is that going back in time is highly unlikely, but going forward in time is technically possible.
Well, that's because we have cryostasis. You can freeze yourself, and then you wake up 5,000 years later, and then you have an episode of Futurama. That's really what you know.
Yes. All right. Well, moving on. I
really like that conversation. I love hardware.
Yeah, we
talk to me dirty.
We do it as a bonus for members or something.
Well, so it's really exciting that we're seeing, back to the original discussion, that we're seeing discussions with TCL talking about 8K 120 frames per second, because what that means for us is the fact that we're going to get hardware regardless of if you have an 8K television that can handle that. We're going to get games that loading times are going to be lower, but we're at a really good stage with speed drive or SSDs and NVMe drives. But we're at a stage where loading times are really fast. But you're going to now have the processing power catch up with those speeds, and the games are going to look phenomenal at any resolution, 1080p or higher.
Yeah.
1440, I think, is personally the sweet spot. 4K is great. 4K is really good too, but yeah, it's really exciting that the discussion is being had for this kind of power. I never in a million years would have thought that we could.
No, and I like this new space we're in gaming, where we're getting these iterations similar to the phone industry, like Phil Spencer talked about. And what it means for us as consumers is, for instance, you can't afford a Series X right now. Guess what? When this new one comes out, the current Series X becomes that mid-tier console. The Series S goes even lower, and the new top tier becomes that new top tier. And so it just gives more options. And then think 3 years after that, then you've got 5 different price point entries to go into in a current generation. There is going to be more options than ever before for gamers. There already is more options than ever before for gamers. That's only going to compound from here out, and I think that's super exciting.
Yeah, pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So they're thinking 2023, 2024?
That's the rumor, because TCL, the television company, had it on their presentation at a conference this week, and I would imagine that's pretty accurate because, I mean, they're developing televisions for.
They're probably in
the future.
Talks with, like, Microsoft
exactly.
has probably reached out saying,
Or
"Hey,
sent them potential spec sheets type of deal."
Super cool, man.
Yeah, very cool.
Even though I'm so blind, I'm not going to be able to see the difference. I'll be able to feel it in my chest.
No, that's why they're going 8K, because it doesn't matter how blind you get. They'll just constantly improve that.
Yeah.
What if you got a prescription television so you didn't have to wear glasses?
is that possible?"
I
think that'll be possible one
That
day.
would be hilarious. Like if I'm, I don't know how that would work. If I have some sort of stigma in my eye, what if instead of getting lenses or contacts or laser blah 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 laser
I'm
surgery
pretty sure
on
that's
my
just
eyes,
called a magnifying glass.
you just get a prescription television? Someone's got to have thought of that.
No, well, what that does is it makes it so no one else in your house can enjoy that TV.
Yeah, it's my TV. Well,
That's your gluten-free of technology.
Think about the focus in your eyes on that TV. Everything around the TV would be blurred, but the TV would be focused. Like, that would be awesome. I think I just came up with $1 million idea.
That would fail.
I actually want to get laser eye surgery. I know 3 people who have done it. I'll love it.
Yeah. I wish I could. I can't with what I got my eyes going on. Sucks.
Oh. Psychotic has a super chat. Thank you very much, Psychotic. He says, "Play us the new Fallen Order trailer. Give the people what we want." Well, guess what? McSpicy, will you pull up the Fallen Order trailer?
Talk about
Jordan the Man, why don't you introduce this for us, for everybody listening? The Jedi Survivor just dropped. The trailer came out this week, actually earlier today, just a few hours ago. Jordan the Man, tell us your thoughts, your impressions. This is a sequel to Fallen Order.
Yeah, it's a sequel to Fallen Order. This is just a teaser trailer. We don't really see any gameplay. We just see just a couple different scenes of, your ship being kind of, beat up a little bit. Someone's in a cryopod. Don't really know who they are yet.
Future time travel.
Cryopod, there you go.
Yeah. But, I don't know if you want to call it a cryopod. When Luke got stabbed and he was in, like, the bath of healing?
Yeah. Yes,
like, that's what they're in.
Oh, okay. Speaking, I don't want to derail this conversation, but it's Star Wars related. I watched the original trilogy, last week or 2 weeks ago. And do you know who has the best gaming room ever? Darth Vader. He's got this like room where
the original gaming chair.
It's the original gaming chair. I thought when that guy comes up, he's like, "Oh, we screwed up, Darth. The Emperor wants to talk to you." Like the whole room goes up, and he's just chilling in a gaming room.
He's like, "Hey,
like it's
you ruined my massage."
He has Darth Vader.
This was me time. You ruined it, so I'm going to choke you.
Yeah, it's in episode 5. He has the greatest gaming room I've ever seen.
I'm choking your throat.
Yes. Right. Well, sorry to derail you, Jordan.
So this is Jedi Survivor.
Yeah, it's called Jedi Survival. Survivor. It is the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order. Respawn is still at the helm. They made Jedi Fallen Order was really good. I believe they got the same game director. This game takes place 5 years after Fallen Order, which in the timeline, I believe, puts it 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. So we're still in that in-between phase, so they can kind of tell their story. I've heard they're working closely with LucasArts to make a good story.
Yeah,
So,
well, the first one was good.
Yeah, the first one was good. So let's hope the second one is good. But I think it will be. I mean, they've proved themselves to be able to make a fun. Would you call this like an adventure game?
It's like
with
an
some
adventure
with
puzzler.
some sprinkled Dark Souls combat?
A 3D platformer, Metroid-esque
Yes, because of the level unlocks.
level unlock adventure RPG Star Wars game.
Star Wars game.
Yeah, that's, that about hits it. So, no, the first one was really good. I enjoyed it. I'm excited for.
Well, it's also kind of Souls.
Matt Balsey simplifies it for you. It's just action adventure.
It's Souls-esque too.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have like the difficulty because you can pick your difficulty meter, but it has a similar combat style of the dodge.
Fitzy asks,
block.
is it a Kenobi series tie-in? Because the Obi-Wan Kenobi series that just dropped today is also 10 years after.
I don't know. So I've not watched the first episode.
So I will say, there's a dude in here in
That
the
looks
Jedi
just like
Survivor
the dude
that's in the
Kenobi, yeah.
Kenobi one.
Might just be his brother or something like
Maybe
that.
they're related.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're definitely from the same planet.
They're related. They're hideous.
Yeah.
That's an ugly family.
Imagine looking at that, going to
Two
that
ugly
planet.
babies.
Yeah.
Got beat with the ugly stick.
People think like humans are ugly. Look
No.
at that. Look at that guy.
That planet would not do. No wonder he's so mean.
Ugly is entirely subjective. Dave.
I would say it's not.
Haven't you seen that?
Have you seen this guy? It's not.
Haven't you seen? Did you ever watch the old Twilight episodes?
This guy proves your
No,
theory.
Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone
Yeah.
episodes. There was one where it was like the whole 60 minutes is of this person who thinks he's hideous, and then they like show at the end. Spoiler alert from a 30-year-old show. Okay,
Yeah.
everyone else is ugly, but this person is beautiful.
Oh, and so he thinks he's ugly because he's different.
Yes, and everyone else is like all deformed and.
I'll do you one better.
Yeah?
Have you ever seen Jack Black when he thinks he's in love with Gwyneth Paltrow and she's super skinny, but actually she's huge?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Shallow
a great
Hal. Shallow Hal, there we go.
That's a
movie.
great movie.
Shallow Hal.
Yeah, see, it's just subjective.
Actually,
guys.
that would be a gift. Like, I want that. Whatever happened in his mind to do that, I want that.
You just got to get hypnotized, man.
Yeah.
Hypnotized. Yeah, someone
In an elevator.
Like, you know how good life would be? You know how ugly people there are? How many ugly people there are in the world? A lot more than good. Good looking is rare.
It is. There's a scale.
Yeah. Like 10s, very rare is there a 10.
Unicorns.
They're men or women, doesn't matter. 10s are rare. But if you were Hallow Shal, the whole world's
Shallow
a 10.
Hal.
Shallow Shal.
Hallow Shal is a great,
Shallow Hal.
great band name.
Yeah, if you were Shallow Hal, the whole world's a 10. The whole world's your oyster.
Yeah.
That's a great
Would you say
movie.
most of the world hangs out between 5 and 7?
I would say
5 and 8.
I would say the
I,
Five and
I,
eight, most
my
of the
glass
world.
is half full.
Yeah.
you
5 and 8.
you as you get older, your bar lowers a little bit. So I'd say between 5 and 9.
Man.
So-
Hey, yeah, Brian in chat has seen that that episode. He's mentioned in the SNL skit that went with it. But yeah, you should watch. We should watch the Twilight Zone, like the old
Twilight
episodes.
Zone. So my wife had never watched Twilight Zone, so we went through like 5 of them one evening. They were either on Netflix or Amazon Prime, one of those. And it's some of the best storytelling ever. It's so good. The fact that you can watch it and it holds up, it's such good storytelling.
Well,
It
that's
is.
that's the power of good storytelling versus relying on
Other stuff.
CGI and other stuff.
Or bad storytelling.
Yeah,
that's a very good point. When there's bad
Or no,
storytelling,
or-
it's worse than
Or
good
in the case
storytelling.
of Justice League with what's his face, Joss Whedon, no storytelling. And then
Yeah.
Zack Snyder comes in and says, all you had to do was tell the story. Here it is. It's like, oh, hey, look, this makes sense.
Do you think he was kind of just trying to get it done?
I think there's
Well,
ego.
I'm sure it was.
I think there's ego.
Yeah, I'm sure
I
that
think
was
it's all
involved,
ego.
yeah.
I think he came
think
in
about
and
it.
said,
He was
F. Zack Snyder. I'm better than that guy. Let me show you how we're gonna do this.
Well,
I've done the Marvel films.
Yeah, the reason
we got to add this touch of humor.
I mean,
you
the
don't
reason,
add in humor with Batman.
The reason they brought him in was because of the success of Avengers 1, and I think he did 2 as well.
You did in the 70s, man.
You did in the 70s.
Adam West would
You
disagree.
did in the least successful version of Batman.
Was it the least? Well, at the time, it was the most successful.
At the
version of
time, you
Batman.
had 0 options. So. Yeah.
But the new Star Wars game from Respawn comes out next year, 2023.
Just in time for the new console.
No, the first one was great. I'm really excited for this next one. I thought the first one had a cool, I would call it a cool original story with the holocron and stuff. So I'm excited to see where they go and what they do with this one. And if they're working closely with LucasArts, maybe do we get a little Luke Skywalker? Maybe a little.
Perhaps.
Well, actually, Luke would only be like
12
at that point, so maybe not. I changed my mind.
Why don't you want to see Luke at 12?
Well, because
a nice little
let's be
cameo
honest.
would be cool.
Let's be honest. If Luke was somewhat annoying at the age that I met him when he wanted to go get power
go to Tosche
converters,
Station and get some power converters.
you know he was annoying at 12. So I don't want to.
He was pretty annoying.
Why do you think Obi-Wan stayed back? Like he was the next like he was a couple houses over. You know what I mean? Like he wasn't the direct neighbor. He was, yeah.
Why is he annoying? Why as a kid?
Well,
have you seen the movies?
Have you seen? Yeah, when I meet him at, let's say, 18, 19.
Yeah.
When he's at the farm, Uncle's
He's annoying.
farm,
Yeah.
He's a tool.
Yeah.
and he's like walking up with the dust. And
Now-
he's all, oh man, I wanna-" And he kicks in. He's looking at the sunset,
Now-
which, by the way, is really good cinematography. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, which, by the way, is not a bad thing because he grows.
Yeah.
And we get to see him grow. But I don't need to see him grow from
Yeah.
12 to,
I mean,
so I
and he
changed
has
my
like
mind.
this know-it-all attitude too. Like they're sitting there
But
at
like
the
a
end.
typical teenager?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're sitting there at the end, and we have all these veteran fighter pilots, and they're like, "That's going to be a tough shot, for the Death Star." And this kid that just showed up 3 hours ago goes, I used to shoot those back in the day. It's nothing. I can do this easy. He's not even dressed up.
But the pod race.
Hold on. Okay, in that
get what I'm
scenario, though,
saying?
like, I get what you're saying. But I think I kind of want that in that situation. That's your maverick,
No,
I'll do it.
But at least wear a uniform, Or maybe he was wearing a uniform. I can't remember. All I know is if I were one of those pilots and I have been training for years,
There would
and
be
this-
some friendly fire on the way out.
And then this one kid comes in 3 hours ago from some podunk town. I used to shoot womp rats like that back in the day. This is gonna be easy for me.
So basically,
Well, okay, that being
basically
said,
any farmer for Tatooine is a better pilot than
well,
the Rebel Force.
Okay, hold on. There's an argument to be had that the Rebel Force had like Porkins,
Which
Like-
is one of the greatest characters.
Yeah, but he's not. Come on, he's not making that shot.
He's definitely past his prime. Porkins is fantastic. Yeah, well, and then I guess if you think about it, the crew probably wasn't the best anyways because that one guy had to keep telling them to stay on target.
Stay on target.
Stay on target. Stay
on
on target.
target.
Like,
And
they're
don't they-
obviously
yeah.
not trained.
Well, and technically, the first pilot did
And
miss.
That's true.
So on Earth,
That was a guy micromanaging everybody. Too.
on Earth, you have to pass your body has to be physically fit for the G's.
There's
You're
no
telling
G's.
me
No,
in
there's
space,
there's no G's in
at the
space.
speed of light,
There's
there's
no-
some very overweight men in those as pilots.
There's no G's in space. If anything, the seatbelt is just to hold them down because I don't think there's gravity in that cockpit. It makes perfect sense. There's no G's in space. It's why.
Well, there is G's
It's
in
why
space.
you don't have to arc your laser shots in
With mass.
The Last Jedi because there's no friction in space, and it's a laser for one. You don't have to arc your laser shots, nor do you have to use a World War II bombing scene. I get what they were going for, but you gotta know
He's talking about
your
the
audience.
Like
The
episode
Last
9.
Jedi. Yeah, it was,
No. I know no G's in space, but they're constantly entering and leaving atmospheres. That's going to take a toll on your body. How do these guys not have heart attacks?
No, NASA does it.
With fit
Don't
people.
you think the blood pressure medication in
Well-
the future would? I guess this is a long time.
Well, I think
ago,
that's why Porkins
but,
died. He wasn't fit.
I'm pretty sure. They replaced Luke's hand. They have some pretty good pills.
Yeah, how is it that they can replace Luke's hand, but the top weapon is a sword?
No,
Well,
it's
no,
not.
it- no,
it's
it's
not.
not.
I mean,
Okay, and
Yeah.
educate me
They
because
even called that archaic. Like the civilization
Yeah.
called that archaic.
They said even in the first, I think it was A New Hope, he says your religion is dead because they like think of the Jedi as like a religion.
yeah, they're monks.
Yeah, basically.
They called it ancient weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Ancient weapons is nothing compared to a blaster in your hand. That's what Han Solo said, I believe.
I agree with Han Solo.
Yeah, well, you agree with the rest of the universe.
Technology has not improved. The Jedi still use the sword and dominate.
Well, I mean,
with
it does reflect their lasers.
Yeah, how is that possible? That no one ever
So-
thought.
I mean,
no
it's
one
light,
ever came
isn't
up
it?
with a
It's light. It burns
lightsaber destroying.
No, they did. The Mandalorians have like lightsaber sticks that they like. The Mandalorians were Jedi hunters.
Yeah. But technology has not improved. A religion has died out, and no technology has been able to overcome the sword.
No, you got to
No, it's
understand
not-
how powerful kyber crystals are.
Yeah.
That go in the lightsabers. I mean, it's light. Can you defeat light? It's like trying to blow up the sun, which
And
actually
also-
they tried to do.
I want to mention that
Yeah,
I
they
did
can-
say that there are G's in space. If there's enough mass next to you, like the Death Star might have been big enough to have maybe like 0.3 G's.
Well, no, but they're entering and re-entering atmospheres in those ships all the time. That's
Yeah, but-
gonna crush your body.
But they're not. They're doing it carefully, from what we see. Like we only ever see the combats on land or in space. They're kind of.
It took like 15 minutes for Han to get to Cloud City.
they
you
do
know?
it. Yeah, but listen to me.
With an
It
escort.
may take a toll on their body, but they do it carefully.
I really think that
No, they figured out technology to blow up a planet. Not only that, they figured out
Well,
technology to blow up multiple
the Empire
planets
did.
from a distance. Yeah, but the Empire can't figure out technology to blow up a lightsaber when you shoot it so that it can't reflect your
Well,
gun.
No.
Well,
That
it's like
seems to
it's
me-
burning light. What would you do to stop that?
Something that burns the light burner.
Wait. What are you talking? You tried to shoot. Okay, if you were Luke Skywalker,
If I had a lightsaber, and
you're
you
doing exactly what the Empire did. They're trying to shoot the lightsaber, but he's moving it down to block it with with midichlorians.
But that's what I'm saying. So there's no technology that has been invented to blow up the lightsaber to make it null and void, basically.
Well, yeah, Inquisitors, right? They hunt Jedi. That's the technology.
well, and you have kinetic
And-
weapons like a regular pistol, like we have. That would work, but
Oh, yeah, and
they're
you're-
more expensive in the universe. They're more expensive to make, so everybody uses.
you remember the
blasters.
you remember the bubble guns in Attack of the Clones, and it was in the show a lot. They go blue, and they shoot. Yeah, no, I think it was on Geonosia they used
Okay.
them, and that just blew people away. So the lightsaber couldn't stop that, and those were bug people.
So your complaint is, or your I guess solution to taking out a lightsaber is to just shoot at it.
No, my solution would be to create technology that a dude running at me with a sword can't block my bullets because it wouldn't work.
So, but keep in mind that Jedi are super rare, like super rare,
Yeah,
especially.
but isn't it an ancient technology? That's my point.
Well, and I think-
why hasn't technology progressed past the lightsaber?
But I think we're forgetting one thing. During the Empire's reign, which would be the original trilogy,
Okay.
let's be honest, their military standards got a little lax. Because they were, they're on top.
No, yeah, and they're not gonna. You're not gonna outfit your whole unit, your whole army, against a sect, a religion of people. I don't know what you would call them that are mythos at this point. They're a legend. They don't really exist.
Yeah, but that's my point. An entire civilization, basically, let's refer to the Jedi as a civilization,
Okay.
has died off.
Uh-huh.
I would equate that to like the Romans. If a Roman soldier came back, in fact, we can see it. I've seen the simulations online. 1,000 Roman soldiers versus 2 Sherman tanks. They don't stand a chance.
Well, I don't think 1,000 regular people stand a chance against.
Well, but my point is, and the reason they don't stand a chance is because since that civilization has died off, technology has advanced to such a degree that their sword is useless.
Technology did advance. They literally created a weapon that blows up planets.
Yeah, but
Sword can't stop that.
But that's my point. If technology has advanced to a point where you can blow up planets, how hasn't technology advanced to a point that a sword basically still stops your
Because
ammunition?
You're never gonna block a close range knife, like unless if you're trained, I guess you can. But you're like knives there is always the ability to kill somebody with a melee weapon in any time zone.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the Jedi lightsaber dominates other weapons.
I wouldn't
No.
say
This
I wouldn't say dominates them.
Have you
You're also forgetting another thing. Funding. Like the Empire probably said, okay, let's fund the Death Star first.
It all comes down to R&D. So what you're saying is they haven't put the R&D into lightsaber destruction.
Yeah, because Mark makes a good point. If the Jedi are gone, why fund that project when you can fund the Jedi? The Emperor's probably raised taxes a lot. You know what I mean? Like I would actually like to know the economic
of
the
budgetary
Empire.
sheets of the Empire.
Probably
Empire.
what caused the rebellion.
What?
It's not a matter of anything else but the economics of taxation.
Yeah, what safety nets did they have? You know, civilized safety nets did they have in place? Where did that money go to? What roads were they building?
You didn't need
It all
roads back then.
started. The whole thing started with a trade route dispute.
Yeah, it did. It did. Yeah.
The
Wow.
whole thing. We have all that lore because of a trade dispute from Naboo.
Their blockade was perfectly legal.
It was.
Their blockade was perfectly legal.
Now there are two Jedi.
Luke Hancock writes in our mail sack. If you want to contribute to the mail sack, write in. You can do so every week over on YouTube, youtube.com/XoneBros, and says, what do you want to see in a Jedi Fallen Order sequel?
I would like to see more expansive worlds and levels, basically like what Elden Ring did with theirs. You know, like they took Fallen Jedi is I would say it leans more towards a linear. Yes, there are some open spaces, but it's definitely more of a linear design, which there's nothing wrong with that. And that's what like the original Dark Souls and stuff used to be. But I would like basically what Elden Ring did. They gave you that more expansive world. I'm not saying it has to be open world, but they gave you that expansive world with those linear objectives and levels. I would like to see a more expansive world, bigger environments, more to do.
I like that. Spicy.
I want to
Agreed?
see weapons that can take out lightsabers.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Fitzy says that. Yes. I want to see a weapon that can take out a lightsaber.
I want to see weapons that can take out a damn lightsaber.
Yeah.
You know what? They used to have that. They were called droidikas. Those little rolling things.
And technically, another lightsaber takes out a lightsaber. Obi-Wan did it.
It's true.
He cut Darth Maul's in half.
See, and remember, both Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan ran from the droideka. They just straight up went super fast
remember?
mode out of there.
Master Destroyers.
Destroyer.
Why is that movie so quotable? Phantom Menace is you can quote. It's like Phantom Menace. There's only two movies that do this: Phantom Menace and Gladiator. Every single line of the movie, even just like the filler lines, are all quotable.
And Phantom Menace, it's because it's so absurd.
It's true.
And Gladiator is because it's Gladiator. It's epic.
You were right. The negotiations were short.
Great question, Luke Hancock. Thank you very much for writing in. We got into a discussion last week about Red Dead Redemption and how what is the best. Can I give some advice here? I think I have changed the way I will play games for forever. I rushed through to complete the story, Red Dead Redemption 2, powered through it, got done within 2 weeks of that game releasing, mostly so we could talk about it, so that Jordan wouldn't spoil it for me. But this week, I have been going back at night, and I am just taking my time. I'm hunting, I'm fishing, I'm going and actually doing side quests that I just completely ignored. It is so relaxing and so immersive. I think Red Dead Redemption may be the best world built ever.
I think we talked about that last week, right?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I think to enjoy this game, you have to accept that it's a slower pace to get the most out of it. And when you do, it's not just relaxing, it's true escapism. Like, I am taken away to this world where the world is the character. The world's the main character.
We even talked about that when the game first came out. We talked about the slower pace of the game and how it was refreshing and fit the time period of what it was. Like, for example, the way people would talk as you went from objective to objective, it was very entertaining. It was very, credit to the voice actors, right? Because they did a good job. But it was very, in some cases, super emotional, depending on what you were doing.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with you. I think it's one of the best worlds ever built.
Oh, you want to know what's interesting in watching this? This is clearly on Xbox
We're watching
One.
gameplay of Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, because this looks terrible.
Yeah, resolution is.
Yeah, what is?
God, do you want me to switch?
What is this shit?
You want me to switch the footage?
No, I just have been taking my time. Spicy, you actually jumped in and
No, after
played
your
some Red Dead.
conversation last week, it gave me the itch.
Yeah.
And I needed to scratch that itch. So I downloaded it, and I'm now walking everywhere. I'm not pressing the joystick all the way forward.
On your horse?
On my horse. I'm getting off my horse. I'm putting it, whatever.
Hitching it?
Hitching it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then I stretch for a sec, and I slowly mosey on into the saloon.
That's what I've been doing.
Grab a
same
drink.
thing.
I grab a drink.
I'm
and
enjoying the sounds, the sights. Yeah.
I saw a kid selling a newspaper. I bought the newspaper.
Read the newspaper.
Then I walked on into to the saloon, and I went next to the wall, and I pretended like I leaned up against it, and I just read the newspaper.
Now I do.
And it happened to be about me robbing a train.
Yeah. It's great. I'm going to try to read all the newspapers as well. Now, having said that, I do think my statement stands. As far as main story goes, top tier, 9.75. I think Red Dead 1, I preferred that story better. I preferred the character, the cast more in that story. It had a little bit lighter touch. I think they found the sweet spot in that one. This one went more serious. But this world, for instance, there's a part that I had never been, and it's actually back towards these canyons where we're going. So it's back behind Valentine, and it's this giant canyon, and you got to like switch back down. I have never been there before, and I was able to go there this time because I'm taking my time and just exploring.
Just exploring the world, yeah.
It's a good game. Yeah, thank you for talking about it last week because I needed something to do that wasn't work.
Oh, one thing that I did, I saved. Oh, this guy got bit by a rattlesnake. That comes up a couple times in this game. Normally I let them die. This time I gave him medicine. Next time I'll suck it out. But
hey, I had a guy that been attacked, and he was like,
I've been bit.
No, and he said, I need something,
Yeah.
And I gave him medicine. It said medicine or whiskey, and I ain't giving him my whiskey.
Yeah.
So I gave him medicine, and he threw it on the ground and said, that won't help me, and then he died. I was like, what?
He wanted whiskey, man.
I guess he wanted whiskey.
That's hilarious. So then the dude gets up after I save him and moseys off. And I'm like riding along, and I see him off in the distance, and I'm like, how does Rockstar handle this? So I follow, and I keep my distance because I don't want him to see me. And I follow him, and he heads up into Valentine. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go up on this cliff to see him. And so I turn to go up on the cliff, then he's gone. So that's how they do it. Like, there's a distance, I think. That when you get a certain distance and you turn out of view, they remove the character from you, from the scene. So the character's not eternally there. But if you always were to follow him, that character I'm sure is on a loop.
Well, I wonder if he would go through, like if he would go into the bar.
I think he would.
This is where David realizes he's been playing a game this whole time.
This isn't
I was
real.
like,
Wait a minute
I'm like,
here.
wait.
That guy disappeared.
Yeah. Wait, this is
The
a game?
illusion is broken.
The wall is broken. No, I want to follow. I actually think it'd be cool to make a YouTube channel where all you do is follow around the people you help
The NPCs.
and see what is their story, what is the life they live.
Have you seen that? Is it called Free Guy? Free Guy?
Yeah, it's actually a pretty funny movie.
It's
Oh,
kind
yeah, it's
of
pretty
about
good.
that.
It's
pretty good. Yeah,
He's the only one that realizes
he's an NPC.
Yeah, he's an NPC.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you just described.
Yeah,
They made a movie of it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I'll say this, David. I think you're wrong. I think this is playing this again. I think it's one of the. I don't know. I think I like it better than Red Dead 1.
Oh, do you really?
And I honestly think it's one of
the world is better. The world is better. I just preferred the more zany storytelling in one for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's an artistic choice they chose, and
Yeah.
I think it works well. I honestly think it's one of the greatest games.
It's
out
so.
there.
This is so good.
It's
So
really
good.
really good. Yeah.
So good. How about in Free Guy, by the way, the CEO, the Indian CEO, he cracks me up.
Oh, yeah,
He's like
he's
a
hilarious.
typical modern what's the word like futuristic yoga dude that thinks he's like all philosophical, but he's not. He's just a tool. So funny.
What made you think of this again? Just, I know we talked about.
Oh, just that. I think sometimes if you're someone that is struggling to enjoy games because you're stressed out or you just don't have time, I think a lot of it is perception, and I think a lot of it comes from wanting to finish a game as quickly as possible. And I think, Spicy, you have said this before, or Jordan has said, in Red Dead Redemption, the story is the journey, and it's true. And if you slow down, I really like the story of this game. I think it's top tier. I already have completed it once. What I missed out the first time going around is I didn't explore maximally as much as I could. In Red Dead 1 I did, and I just think you miss out on so much. Now, having said that, Red Dead does it in a way I think that makes me want to explore. I don't have that same feeling, and I know that not everyone's going to share this opinion. This is just my subjective point of view. But like an Assassin's Creed doesn't encourage me to explore in the same way that a Red Dead does, that a Witcher may do, that Skyrim nailed that exploration aspect. An Assassin's Creed to me has this like collection aspect, which is really cool, but not so you're exploring to collect, not exploring to experience the world, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it.
But I think sometimes we get wrapped up in trying to finish something as quickly as possible that you end up missing a wonderful experience.
Yeah.
Do you want us to add to that?
No, that's it. The other one that I've been playing that I talked to Jordan about is Trek to Yomi.
Yeah, that game is fun.
It is just fun. It's just a fun game.
It really is.
And I do think the criticism is correct that it gets repetitive, but even with that repetitive fighting, it's just fun.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I've become really good at is parrying.
Yeah, one, it's a nice little, I think it's like anywhere between like 5 to 8 hours. Like, it's just a nice little game to play.
Yeah. It's good. And they're going to make a number 2.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to become, you can tell. It just has that feel.
So, and it's popular.
Yeah,
right?
that'll do it.
It's popular. You guys have been playing Fortnite, actually.
No, I played 2 rounds of Fortnite.
Oh, okay. Spicy downloaded it before you guys are going to play tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, because there's been a discussion in our Discord channel about, I think Ronan was posting some videos and I have not played the no build mode yet, but Fortnite with no build mode, I think in my head has the potential to be the king of Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
is that a common consensus or is that controversial?
I don't know. I just want to play it. It looks fun.
Well, you said it was happening in our Discord. Was that?
Oh, it was just
no. People just talking about how much fun they're having with it.
How much they're fun.
Yeah.
And so I know Jordan and I were discussing it. Jordan, downloaded it and started playing. And right before the show, it's like, oh shoot, I got to go download it because I mean, having no build in that game is like it caters to me. Big time. I don't know if it caters to a more traditional style of PvP or whatnot. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was okay at building.
Yeah, we got those 1-buys down pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, everybody had to if you wanted to survive in that world. But I'm now eager to play that game when building doesn't matter, but position matters a lot more.
Interesting. It's Mint just said in chat the introduction of no build was the reason I tried Fortnite for the first time.
Well, yeah,
and it's great.
It's the reason we're coming back. Not that I mean, we played Fortnite pretty religiously for a while there, didn't we? Like, it's actually funny to go back. I think I have like the first time they introduced an emote, like one of those ones.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, maybe not the very first time, but the first batch. But it was a lot of fun. It was really cool not having to. I mean, I do think the building makes Fortnite unique, and I do think that's a cool thing about Fortnite, but it is nice going into that no build mode and just playing it like, I mean, they have a parkour system that kind of substitutes the build mode, so you still have, fluid movement, you can jump onto buildings and stuff like that, but it's really fun. And I don't care who you are. Fortnite dominates
the battle pass
at content, at skins, at just like what they do within their seasons. I mean, yes, it took them some iterations to get here. It didn't start out this way, but they have. I really do think after playing, I just played 2 rounds, but I was kind of messing around in the menus and I got to see some of the cutscenes and like why there's a no build mode and the story they're trying to push. Which they are the bar.
Yeah,
no joke. Like they are the new standard.
They're a cut above everyone else.
Yeah, I mean they are. They what they do is insane.
Yeah.
Like with their events and stuff like that. And they've always done this, but it's just going back to it and seeing it firsthand now that I've loaded it back up on the Xbox.
So is it better with no build?
In my opinion, right now I like it better. I mean, I'll probably jump maybe into a couple build matches as I get more comfortable with the game.
Yeah.
But I because of the parkour that they've added, it's not just like, oh, no building, go ahead. Like they've added stuff to, what would you say, supplement the building? Like there's no building, but there's now new movement mechanics. Now I don't know if those movement mechanics are in the build mode because I've not played the build mode. But
I wonder what numbers show. Is the majority of is build mode still more popular than no build mode? Anyone know?
I don't know. I think you probably have. I mean, you probably have a pretty even player base because look at how many people have said like, oh yeah, I started playing Fortnite again because of the no build mode.
Yeah.
Like it's you know.
I think what Epic has done very, very well, and they probably did this because underneath it all, they're a game engine developer.
Yeah.
I think what they made when they built the Save the World mode and other things, right? I feel like what they made was an engine that was adaptable.
Oh.
And maybe we can even tie this into the Halo discussion we were having a couple times about the no content, or not no content, but limited content, long seasons. Maybe there's a discussion to be had that some games, such as Halo Infinite, are developed in a way where the engine is not as adaptable as it could be.
Yeah, we actually had a good conversation about that in our Discord this week.
And what Fortnite does extremely well, and Epic Games does extremely well, or what they've done well, is they've created an engine that they can adapt and change on the fly and do concerts, change things quickly, because at their roots, they're a game engine company.
That's a good point.
And what I like is Fortnite's, I mean, given their status in the gaming industry, I mean, they're really big and they can afford to do this. But I like that they're not afraid to take ideas that work. Like in Fortnite now, and this has been the way for a while, but now playing the game, I've seen it. They've added the respawn vans just like in when Apex introduced it. You know, like that's a good mechanic. They brought it over to Fortnite. I appreciate that, even though it doesn't work all the time, that Fortnite does throw stuff out there to say, hey, let's see if this mechanic works. Like, for example, a while ago, they added the mechs, which I know was a terrible idea, but I appreciate they try. It didn't work, and they pull it back out. But that goes to you saying their engine allows them to do that.
Allows just like the freedom of artistic creation, ideas, and I think that shows. I don't think there's any developer out there that does it better and as consistently and as how much they just simply produce and create because of the, I guess, in my opinion, the adaptability of their engine.
Yeah.
They can do these things.
It's literally their engine.
Yeah,
it's the Unreal Engine. Right?
Without all these complicated changes, without rewriting, I don't know. And granted, I'm on the outside looking in, but with how much they create and how much they produce, and I just think they created an engine that can just do anything.
I mean, look what they did. They had that weekend event where the game shut down, and I think it was, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was to upgrade the game to the new engine, which the compatibility of doing that is I mean, that you had to build that, you had to have forward thinking for that.
Yeah.
Sure. And
You know.
the things they've done when they updated to, was it Chapter 2?
Yeah, that's when they had the big event. Like that's when they upgraded to the new.
The game never actually, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It never actually went away. It just went boo to the little dot. Like stuff like that. What other game has ever on this scale?
You guys are making me want to jump in and check out Fortnite.
Well, I mean, Fortnite gets the flack from people because, like, you know, it's like the
it's
when
viewed as being for kids.
Yeah, it's like when Minecraft got big, right? Like all the kids are playing it and stuff. But I mean, there's a reason, right? Because it is good. I mean, from a gaming perspective, you cannot deny what they have done in the industry.
Yeah.
And what they've done well.
Yeah.
So, Super Shocker dropped a super chat. He says, Fortnite is great now. The helicopters are back.
The only thing I don't
Thank you
know,
for that.
I
Super
was
chats.
playing a match, and maybe someone can tell me. I was playing a match yesterday, and someone got in a battle bus and just drove away. I was like, "Whoa!"
He's like, I'm out.
Yeah, when did that happen?
I'm
So
out.
I don't know what that mechanic
Well, yeah,
is.
it's been
but
years since we played.
Oh yeah,
so-
the last time we played was the very first time they introduced airplanes, which I think if you look it up was probably a year. I think it was 2 years ago.
That's
Yeah.
when I
Like
bounced.
the last time we played.
Like airplanes, I'm out. Airplanes building, I'm out. I'm out. Speaking of airplanes, the Top Gun free DLC, I downloaded it.
Oh,
before.
on
I'm
Flight
excited to
Simulator,
try it out
this
today.
week.
Captain Obvious wrote in with a question regarding Fortnite. He says, with Obi-Wan added to Fortnite, that's come because the Obi-Wan
The
series
show
is here,
came out,
yep.
yeah.
Which character would you guys like to see in the game? I personally would like to see My Hero Academia characters.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Well, we're for those that are not watching us live, we're watching.
Is that Naruto?
Yeah, we're watching. They've put anime characters into the game, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So, and they're actually like in an anime art style.
yeah, cell shaded.
Yeah. But
Which the game can do. The engine can allow something like that.
Mhm.
That's just actually incredible.
So My Hero Academia for Captain Obvious. That
That's
would be awesome.
I think so. They already added Master Chief, which is awesome. I would like Marcus Phoenix.
Oh, yeah. Spicy. How about
I would
yourself?
like Zuko from
Oh, that
The
would
Last
be cool,
Airbender
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
and have his little like
Firebending.
fire bending going on.
Maybe
with
as
some
he
of the
runs,
emotes.
like there's little flames coming out or something.
I mean, there's a lot of people I would like.
I would like Harry Potter.
That would be hilarious.
Maybe
actually.
and
Like,
maybe you
a bunch of kids
Well,
in-
then
A
you're
bunch of kids
in
that
robes
that
running
people
around.
are
That would-
shooting.
Well, no, I mean they would obviously be year 5+. You know, just
no,
for,
but like imagine so you're like kite or
The
parachute.
hitbox is terrible, man.
The kite or parachute as you bring down is a freaking witch Quidditch broomstick. That'd be awesome.
I guess Harry Potter theme would be fun. I mean, any
I think
universe would be
actually,
fun.
Harry Potter would be pretty awesome because I just imagine a bunch of people in like robes running around.
Flapping. They're flapping around.
They can add
And
a
maybe
wand
like
as a
maybe
new
you
weapon.
add like
and have the health things, the shield be like butterbeer, whatever.
yeah,
that is.
yeah.
What's the stuff they drink?
Butterbeer.
Butterbeer. Yeah, have stuff like that.
Butterbeer. Yeah, that can be the new potion.
Or also they could have I just lost my train.
Oh
of
wait, Super Shocker in chat. Am I?
I'm sorry.
Hold on. Am
thought.
I?
No, it's not your fault. I'm
No,
just-
Harry Potter would be awesome, but Super Shocker in chat said old Marcus is on Fortnite. Did I not know that? See, I haven't played for 2 years. He's probably already
Marcus
in there.
is in it. Captain Obvious is
For that matter, is Harry Potter in there? He's
Yeah,
probably
maybe
in
Harry
there
Potter's
too.
in there as well. But imagine that when you load up, and you bring their character, and it's like doo 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 doo.
And their glider can be a broomstick.
That's what I said.
Oh, I missed that.
that's what
part.
I said.
How cool would it be to be John Marsden as well?
Basically,
Speaking of Red Dead.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
or like Nathan Drake or
You
something.
don't care
Basically,
about
like
that.
every.
That was like a.
I mean,
Oh
he's-
yeah, Mark made a comment. That's
Wait.
great. Let's give him encouragement.
No, he's
Oh.
he's just a cowboy though.
Yeah, but he's the cowboy.
Guys, that's hilarious. My character's in there. I haven't played the game in 2 years.
There you go.
Marcus Phoenix is in it.
Imagine like the emotes are insults, and they like call you Muggle or something. Stupid Muggles.
Stupid muggle.
It'd be hilarious.
When you die.
Like imagine you had a Patronus that flies
Do you
out.
have to unlock Obi-Wan, or is it purchased in the store?
Oh, it's everything in Fortnite is purchasable.
Well, yeah,
That's what
which is
they-
why I
that's
haven't actually looked at
beautiful.
the store yet because I'm already like there's things on the battle. The battle
can't
pass
afford it.
The battle pass ends next Tuesday, and I'm
Yeah,
like, oh man, like there's things that I want, but I don't want to pay
You
for
can't
it.
afford it.
Yeah,
Oh, you guys are making me want to
Go
jump
do
in
it,
and play
seriously.
Fortnite.
Yeah, the no
so,
build mode.
do you think?
Let me ask you this: what is preventing you from downloading this free-to-play great game?
Nothing. Literally nothing.
yeah.
Will you go download it?
I will. Thank you for asking me the will you question. It's called building relationships with trust, right there.
Yeah, that's totally
exactly what that is. Thank you very much, Captain Obvious, for the question. Let's take one last question here. It has to do with Halo, because there's some Halo changes, and you guys got into a discussion on Halo this week. Blake Densley writes in. Barbara Blake says, Halo did a patch where they undid what they had done in a previous patch. They brought back skill jumps and the tank gun, quote-unquote, glitch in the single-player campaign. Are you good with them restoring these things to the game? Should they have been taken out in the first place? Blake says, I'm personally happy they brought back the tank gun, and I hope it's still there when the co-op starts.
Yeah, so we can use it. Yeah. But no, as for this, I mean, I said it when they took skill jumps out. I'll be honest, I'm not at the skill level to where I'm using those skill jumps, but I don't think they were a hindrance to the game. I don't think they hurt the integrity of the game, and I don't think they should have been taken out. I do think they
I agree.
people that were able to do that, it was a what would you call it, a skill gap, I guess. I mean, you were able to use your skill to do that. That's why they were called skill jumps, right? As a lower skilled player, me, or slightly above average, I can still learn how to do that. It's not an exploit of the game. I can still learn and get better at doing it and do it. I'm not going to pretend that I do it every match because I don't. But I don't think it was hurting the integrity of the game. I don't think it should have been taken out. I don't think anybody even mentioned or asked for it to take out, or it wasn't even talked about as a problem. So I don't know where they got the idea that it needed to be taken out.
It's basically what they did was they outlawed alley-oops.
Yeah.
That's what they did.
It was like, wait a minute.
It doesn't hurt the integrity at all. It's super cool.
And if you can do it, you're awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's what they did.
They outlawed flex moves.
That's what they did.
I will say, as for like the single player speed running stuff, like I guess there's somewhat of an argument that you could say like, oh well, it's exploit, blah blah blah, whatever. But again, I don't think it was hurting the integrity of the game. It's not like you had mass number of players doing it. It was probably honestly just confined to the speedrunning community.
Yeah.
That whole segment of the patch, there was no need for it, and I think people got frustrated is because, well, why did you do that instead of working on this? Like this, no one asked for this or no one wanted this. We should have been working on this. So I'm glad they restored it. It was a change that never should have been taken out, in my opinion. Yeah.
So chat's asking what is a skill jump, for example. A skill jump in this context is a jump to get on a higher platform, for example, that requires very tight frame input. So it's
very precision based.
Precision input will get you to a higher. It'll let you traverse the map
quickly in ways that no one else can.
In ways that you can't normally do. Which, like I said, it's a flex move. It's not I mean, it's not always necessary at all, but it's fun for skilled players to do.
And it doesn't hurt the integrity of the game because it's not like they're map hacking or wall you know what I mean? It's not like they found a spot to get underneath the map and shoot up at you where you can't access them. It's
an alley-oop.
It's an alley-oop.
That's actually an incredibly great way to describe it. It's an alley-oop. So
yeah, but those take a lot of practice. A lot of pros would spend a lot of time working on these moves so they could do them in matches.
Because in a competitive atmosphere, it would give you an edge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or an ability
just
to...
like an alley-oop would give you an edge.
Yeah. And being completely honest with you, the only... I mean, you may or may not see them in some of your matches, but I would say 85% of the community is not going to see people because it's a high-level move. Like you said, the pros are pulling those off, and I would say higher skilled players are pulling them off, but it's not...
Imagine putting in hours and hours and hours to practice that and then have it taken away. It was kind of kicking the pants.
Well, and I think the way they did it, like I don't think they even mentioned anything. They just were like, it's out. I mean, I don't.
Oh, that's kind of a funny troll. What's wrong with me? I can't get this jump anymore. I thought I had this down.
I thought I was really good.
What the heck? So no, I think maybe they should have vetted it first. Like, hey, what do you guys think of us taking out the skill jumps? And everybody would be like, no one cares. Keep them in. Oh. Okay. Well, what Frank's been working on for the past month is useless.
There's this guy in the meeting at the back.
Let's move him over to content creation.
There's this guy in the meeting in the back that just goes. What am I going to do now? You're in charge of pots in the world.
Yeah.
That's actually, it's funny how you learn about game development and... that is how it works. You are in charge of all the pots in the universe.
Yeah, remember the Skyrim guy?
The Skyrim guy.
Because he was talking
all to... was pots.
He was talking to like a group of aspiring game developers, and he basically told them, he goes, look, if you want to be in this business, you better make dang sure it's something you really enjoy because you guys are seeing like Todd Howard as the game director. You're not going to obtain that. That's like a 99... Like that is very rare, right? You're going to be working on pots your whole life. Like so, his job for a year and a half was literally to make sure every pot interacted with whatever that player did, and interacted with whatever environment. It was actually a really cool speech and what he talked about. But he loved it. He said, "I loved it. I worked on pots for 2 years."
I got to know pots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know where every pot is in that world.
I think. Who's the girl from the Guild? What's her
Felicia
face?
Day?
Yes.
Guild's a funny show, by the way.
Yeah. So Felicia Day actually had. I heard. I was watching her with Day 9, I think, years ago, and she mentioned that she lost something in Skyrim, and she thought the game bugged and it was deleted, and so she actually, because of her contacts, she contacted the Skyrim developers, and they went to the pot guy, and he had to spend a day going through, and he got her game save, and he told her it was in pot like 39976.
That is hilarious.
Can you imagine? Hey, Frank, can you pull up pot 7?
Felicia Day is wondering where her ring of power is.
He has like an Excel spreadsheet of every pot in the game.
Yeah.
Let me Control F my spreadsheet.
But no, going back to the Halo stuff, I think it was a good change. I think it made people more happy. And I just, after playing Fortnite, I really hope that Halo gets to the point where they're pumping out that content like Fortnite, and just what they're doing with their seasonal events.
Here's the thing. I think I saw, by the way, in this gameplay that we have pulled up, someone using a pickaxe. Is there even a need for a pickaxe anymore?
You still break through buildings and stuff and make your own shortcuts.
Oh, okay.
And,
But as far as farming, there's no need to farm wood or anything anymore.
I only played 2 games, so I'm not going to answer for sure. But as you just saw him in the game, he used his pickaxe to break
I don't
the
even
roof
think
and
I
drop down.
saw anything pull up there that showed that he
No, I
obtained
don't believe there
materials.
is. I don't see why you would need it. But again,
I think this is
I'm
the
a
superior
noob
way.
again.
I think because for someone like me, even who was streaming as my full-time job for a year and would jump in and play Fortnite because I had to,
Yeah.
I was discouraged because I know how to run and shoot, and I can
play position.
That's an easy learning curve. But then when it comes down to these crazy building where it has nothing to do with attack defend, it deterred me from playing. And I wonder if Fortnite saw that became increasing, especially as kids got older.
Well, I'm sure they saw an audience. They're like, hey, what's preventing people from playing the building, right? It can be a curve on the skill
Let's see
gap.
if there's stats here.
We talked about it the other day. I mean, I'm not a good builder, but I actually like watching like the high level building. I think it's quite fascinating.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's, I guess, with any high level game.
Yeah. Competitive Fortnite players upset after casuals get no build. Funny. Yeah, because basically that same competitive player in Fortnite, a competitive player in Fortnite, do you think are they competitive in other games?
For sure, yeah. Any shooter, all these I guess mechanics transfer over 100%.
Oh, okay.
That's why a lot of the pros all started out at Counter-Strike.
Oh,
I
see.
They all understand position. They all understand map knowledge. Granted, aim is important, but it's not as important as you'd think.
50% of the battle is positioning.
Positioning is huge. You win. I mean, think of when you die, for example, David. How many times do you die getting shot in the back, things out of your control, when all that could have been fixed by knowing the map a little bit more, having the spatial knowledge and map awareness. Position is, I would say, 80% of being a pro. And then 20%, what's that song? 60% skill, 80%, I would say aiming is important at that high level, but you can get in the top 10%, top 5% by position alone, by being able to take the first shot, being able to survive the shot when you didn't know someone there existed. Another example is taking away knowledge from your opponent. If you are fighting against somebody over there and they see you go behind the truck, reposition in a way that they did not know that you repositioned, and so you're taking knowledge away from that person, they'll still wait for you to peek when you can now take a shot from the side or a different angle. Position's huge. 100%.
Yeah.
And that's what you're gaining in this mode. You're not being able to be lazy and just one by one up and survive.
Yeah. Ronan says all the major Fortnite streamers were crazy happy with no build, and that's what they're saying. There's no numbers here other than
was that just a clickbait title?
Streams have taken off. Like they're back to streaming numbers when Fortnite first came out.
Well, and look at streamers that weren't huge fans of Fortnite coming back saying they like the no build mode. But hey, quick question. Speaking of Fortnite, we're watching a video. How do I get the Kakashi skin? Because I would really like that. If someone in chat can just throw that out for me.
Well, that's what this game does so well.
I really want that skin.
I want Doctor Strange.
So
and I
if
have
you
till
could tell
Tuesday
me
to get to him.
Saturday, I think it's like next Saturday.
Let's just pay for it. I'm going to go pay for it.
Road, I got to wait for the store rotation.
I missed Naruto last time it came around. $10 says Fitzy.
Like, I don't mind paying $10 for that skin.
Yeah, that is cool. Anime freak, dude. That's cool.
See, they do a good job of getting. They have the patent on how to get you to spend
there you
money
go, Jordan.
without
It's gear skins in the store.
Oh, Halo and gear skins in the store. Cool.
Boom, jump on it.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, that does us for today. Thank you very much for hanging out. Thank you for being here. Just a blast. Love doing this show each and every single week. If you haven't yet, head over to Apple Podcasts, rate, review, and subscribe to us there. Check us out on Spotify. Leave a rating as there for us. It really helps. Like this video on YouTube. Come subscribe to us on YouTube. Share us with your friends, your family, your lovers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And join us every week here on the Xbox. We'll see ya in Xbox, everybody. Bye-bye.